Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Business Influencers Show. This is Terry Palmer, the host, and today I have with me Mark Amell. Mark is a business consultant, and he helps them get recurring business in and new business in. Mark is also a retired U.S. Air Force officer, and his specialty was databases and programming, which he does bring to the table with his clients now. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Great. So I met Mark in a mastermind group, and he was telling about how he was helping his clients. And he said something that really I thought was remarkable, that over the 30 years he's been helping businesses do this, he's never had to advertise for his businesses. He's utilizing the resources that his clients existing have and then bringing into board things that he knows and does. So, Mark, kind of tell us how you've been able to help your clients without advertising.
Well, most of it centers on customer retention. And if you keep a customer happy, they're going to stay with you. And they will also tell other people. But what we're doing now with all the SEO and website tools is we're using them for a dual purpose, in that you can use the tools to get more business, but it also allows you to effectively stay in touch with your current customers.
Well, that makes sense. Can you describe some of those tools that you utilize in your business for your clients?
Yeah, one of the several of the tools. SEO, there's over 70 different local search engines. So one of the things that we do is we want to contact all the 70 different local search engines, make a consistent message throughout, set the keywords up and pictures, and let that go and set in there. What that does is if one of your customers forgets your phone number or can't find it, they can at least search you through the local search engines. Having a website that's up to date, where that's your impression. You know, if a new customer sees a truck go by and didn't get the phone number, they can find you. If they can't find you, then that isn't any good. If they go to the website and it looks like, a place they wouldn't walk into, trash outside or torn curtains or whatever, they're going to jump off. But what I've been doing then also, your other tools such as review management, you can take your existing customers, ask them to leave a review, which allows you to stay in touch with them. One of the things that we do is we make sure that all the reviews that are submitted are answered. So it's a current customer and you're saying thanks for leaving a review, or a current customer that has a problem, you're going to be able to head it off before it's a problem and they go someplace else. Same thing with texting. You can send a text to a pizza place, can send a coupon every week. A company can send out monthly Happy St. Patrick's Day, Happy Valentine's Day, or what are you doing? Come on in and see our specials. Just staying in touch with the customer so that if they have an issue or a friend of theirs has an issue, they're going to remember who you are. Same way with email marketing. We can go out to get new customers through email marketing, but just staying in front once a week or even every other week, just to stay in front of those people, sharing your information, soliciting them for questions. Do you have questions that we can help you with? If you're a pest control company, have you seen this? We're looking for the most strangest bug this month, that we can identify. Any of that stuff to build that relationship with Nowadays, everything has gone so automated, voicemail, push this button, click here to read more, that any way that you can build that relationship with your customer keeps them around. Most of my customers, and you'll have long-term customers, I have more 10 to 20-year customers than I do 5-year customers. And one of the things that really started driving me into customer retention is being a program, I have access to all their customer data. And I ran some analysis on it, and I saw that if a customer stays a year and a half or a year and 3 months, then they're going to stay 3.5 years. If they stay 3.5 years, they'll stay 5 years. And if they stay 5 years, they'll stay forever. And if you look at your turnover in customers and you reduce it from 20% or 10% even to 2%, you don't have to market for those other new people. Or if you do decide to do some marketing, you can grow without going backwards. Like if you're going to get 10 new customers but you lose 7, you've only gained 3. So what I try to do is I build their foundation of marketing on customer retention to start with, while we're starting to get these new customers, build in some more income to invest it into their marketing.
Well, that's
kind of the long version of it.
Well, but it's unique. I've heard this said that it costs a lot more to get a new customer than it does to keep your existing customers as good customers for yourself. So using that analogy, you've really made that a science where you're keeping your clients' customers up to date. You're contacting them for them. You're keeping your clients in the mind of their customers so that if something does come up, they're not looking somewhere else. They're always constant in front of mind. I think that's a very strong strategy. And, I know of a lot of businesses I've heard, they've got great lists of emails and stuff, but they never reach out to their existing client. They're always trying to find some new method to get a hold of new clients. And, you've got a unique way of doing that. I think it's fantastic. What else do you do in the programming? That was quite interesting that you can go and find data on your clients. That's really, I think, would be helpful to your clients.
Well, my clients use my software to do their scheduling, routing, billing. It's all integrated. Because right now everything is I used to say that if my software replaced 5 different other people's softwares combined. Now it's like my software replaced 50 apps, where you have to type in the name and address and phone number of everybody into all these different apps, but they don't work together. One of the things that, I've done in business is I go sit in the office of people that use my software and I find out how to optimize their time. That's my goal. My basic software is 3 million lines of code. So it's not a quick drag and drop programming tool that I got, for cheap off the internet. This is all integrated. So I use that same philosophy into the marketing. But having all their data and using my program, I can look at their database, without giving anybody any secrets, and I can just run the analysis and see how that data flows. And you can see too, if you keep track of how many new customers did you get that month and how many people were repeat customers. If you've lost customers, a lot of times people won't call you, but if you haven't used them in 3 months, then probably you may have lost them. If you've got annual people, annual to me is when I used to accept annual payments is I'd have to resell them every year. And that's the same thing that's true in any business. If you've got oh, this is great, just pay for it up front with a 20% discount. That's good, you collect in some money. But you have to make sure that you stay in touch with them over the year, because otherwise when you go to sell them, when you get that next annual payment, you have to resell them on why they should give you that money. They look at competitors. You have to stay involved in them, that they can't lose you. You know, or that it's going to cost them more than just money to leave you.
Right.
So these are all the principles. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
These are all the principles that I use in the marketing tools. And what's been great about the marketing tools, because the way people are doing business now is changing. You know, I don't want to say younger generation, but everybody loves texting. Well, whether you like texting or not, you needed to add an interface to your business that you can get texting on your computer, reuse your phone number, send texts out to either your employees or to your customers, because that's the way people are preferring it. You may send an email to somebody and it might sit in there for 3 days. But if you send a text, you're probably going to get a response that day.
Absolutely.
So there's all these tools that you can use. You can build, you know, in building the customer's websites, you put a blog post on there, you put articles that are interest to them. They're going to go back next week and look at it some more, get some more information. And maybe some of the articles are about, well, did you think about emailing your customers? Or, you know, think about how important reviews are. You know, your customers are going to get this in the back of the head, and then they're going to call and ask you. So or if you're a customer out there doing if you're a customer out there doing service, you can tell them indirectly how important reviews are, how that's helping your business. Explain to it, where they're not going to listen to you for 5 minutes on the phone. But if you have a nice, well-written article, say, you know, please send me a review. Call me if you have a problem. We'll take care of it immediately. But if you're happy, send me a review, so that because this is why it's important to me. There seems to be a lack of, you know, people go say, oh, you know, go to this link, send me a review, you know, thank you. Well, that's forgotten by the time they walk away. But if it sits up on the website, they're going to say, yeah, let me take a minute. I enjoyed this article, and I'll be glad to help them. They did a good job for me.
Interesting. So a couple of points that I gained from there. You were mentioning about money and stuff, money spent, and that, you know, your clients would have to have several, you know, a dozen or more apps or different software programs just to do what your software program does, and you're not advertising for them. So on the money side, they're saving the money that they would spend on ad spend on a monthly basis just to attract. And so all in all, your clients, I'm assuming, are saving money and therefore making money, because the whole focus is on keeping those existing clients coming in with referrals, reviews, which will generate new clients for them. So now I'm getting a little bit more picture of how you've been able to operate without advertising. And the bottom line means that your clients, is what I'm gleaning, are actually thriving, keeping their businesses up and running, and saving money, because having everything in one place with your software and not having to do ad spend on the other side. Does that kind of sum it up?
It does, and I give you two short examples. I had a pest control company that I took over last year, and he actually, through the pandemic, he doubled his revenue from last year. And another company that is a construction company, I started doing some basic SEO work for them at a fairly low cost, but in March they were booked out through the end of the year. They told me, you know, that's all right, don't tweak it anymore. We got as much as we want. So I was pretty happy with those.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, right? For the business. Well, Mark, I really appreciate your time and your candid and sharing. I'm sure there are listeners out there who would like to explore a little bit further what you do and maybe what you can do for them. So could you give us contact information, a phone number and or email, both, so that our listeners, if they want to reach back out to you, can get a hold of you, please?
Then my website is dmaworld.com. My email address is mark, M-A-R-K, at dmaworld.com. And my direct phone number is 321-235-5700.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for being on the show. I hope our business listeners and all of them have learned something about what they can do. Go back, if you've got your own list of people, your email list, go back and nurture them, and they'll become your good customers. So this has been another episode of Business Influencers Show. Terry Palmer, your host, and our guest today was Mark Amell. Thank you, Mark, and see you later.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.